Hello everybody, my name is Bill Kaiser and I'm a postdoctoral researcher in the Joint Research Unit in Environmental Acoustics. Today, the subject of my talk is about a sound pressure level uncertainty quantification method for wind turbine noise context. So as you know, the variability of sound pressure level is really high in wind turbine noise context. This is due to both emission and propagation effect. Regarding emission, the source variability is mainly due to wind properties. And regarding propagation, there are ground effects such as ground absorption and the effect of roughness, as well as atmospheric effect with wind and temperature profiles, atmospheric turbulence, and humidity. So we have to clarify the link between the parameter variability and the sound pressure level uncertainty. So during wind turbine noise assessment, wind speed and wind direction are measured synchronously with sound pressure level. And so the sound pressure level uncertainty mainly comes from the possible variability of the other environmental parameters. So today the final objective is to perform a numerical uncertainty quantification. To do so, we are using a wind turbine noise model, and more details about this model are given in the associated paper. But we can't perform directly the uncertainty quantification with this model because the number of calculations required is really high, and thus it leads to a really expensive calculation cost. So we need to build a fast model or a surrogate model or a meta model. So the different steps are detailed in the associated paper, and today I will try to focus on the results of the analysis. To model wind turbine noise, we use the moving monopole technique proposed by Cote 2019. So the sound pressure level at a receiver location is composed of an emission term calculated with an Amiet aeroacoustic model. We have to take into account the geometrical spreading as well as the propagative effect calculated with a parabolic equation model. So here, the delta L is the free field attenuation term, and alpha is the atmospheric absorption. So we performed calculation at several receivers from 500 meters to 1.5 kilometers. Before 500 meters, there is usually no neighborhood, and we go from z equal to 0 meter to z equal to 10 meter. At the end, we obtain 2D noise map per frequency. So here is an example at 50 Hz. This wind turbine noise model has several input parameters. There are 3 ground parameters and 6 atmospheric parameters. Regarding the ground parameters, we consider the acoustic impedance through the Mickey impedance model and the mean effect of roughness through a Gaussian roughness 8 spectrum. Please refer to our previous sensitivity analysis if you want more details. Regarding atmospheric properties, we consider effective celerity with logarithmic wind and temperature profiles. And then we take into account atmospheric absorption through the ISO standards. So the uncertainty quantification implies to perform a lot of calculation, each time with a different set of input parameters. So the input parameter values interval are chosen to be representative of wind turbine noise context. Except regarding the theta parameter, we choose to focus only on downwind condition because this is the most detrimental sound pressure level for neighborhoods, and also because atmospheric turbulence can be neglected for this condition because there is rarely shadow zone in this condition, and because the atmospheric turbulence has a really high calculation cost. But to take into account the atmospheric scattering, we applied a limit on the free field attenuation term as proposed by Hyman and Salomons. So as I said before, this wind turbine noise model has a high calculation duration, so we need to build a faster model to conduce the uncertainty analysis. Actually, a noise map is composed of a high number of receivers. The idea is to express each noise map, Y, by a limited number of scalars and to emulate only the behavior of these few scalars. To do so, we first generate a training sample composed of 500 noise maps uniformly distributed in the entire input parameter set. Then, we perform principal component analysis of this training sample. Now we can express each noise map, Y, as a linear combination of component Psi, as written here. The Psi term can be represented as well as 2D section, as presented on the right. They are calculated once, and then they are saved on the computer. This means that we only need to quickly emulate each A coefficient for each new simulation with a new set of input parameters. To do so, we are using Kriging interpolation technique. More details are given in the associated paper, including a validation procedure. So following the uncertainty analysis, 5,000 sound pressure level maps are calculated randomly in the input parameter set defined in the previous table. It means that we have no a priori on the parameter values and that they have a great variability. We can look at confidence interval with respect to distance. For example, here at z equal 2 meters. So we will look at the sound pressure level confidence interval from 500 meters to 1.5 kilometers. At 50 Hz, we first notice that the confidence interval are really wide. It is about 31 decibel and doesn't vary significantly with distance. This reflects the great variability of sound pressure level in wind turbine noise context without any knowledge on environmental parameters values. We also observe a decrease of the median sound pressure level with respect to distance, which is due to geometrical spreading. Then we can look at higher frequency, for example at 1000 Hz. We see that the confidence interval is still very wide. Here it is about 23 decibel and 24 decibel at 1.5 kilometer. It seems to increase a little bit with distance, and this is mainly due to propagative effects that are cumulative with distance. During wind turbine noise assessment, wind properties are very often measured synchronously with sound pressure level. So now we will investigate sound pressure level uncertainty when wind direction and wind speed is known. So we will classify wind direction by wind sector of 30 degrees. And also we will classify the wind speed by classes of 1 meter per second. So we will consider 3 different wind sectors and 3 wind speed classes, 6 meters per second, 8 meters per second, and 11 meters per second. In the following slide, I will present the result at 3 receiver locations for the 3 wind sector and the 3 wind speed classes. The sound pressure level will be given in box plot format in global A level with the frequency between 50 Hz and 1000 Hz, which is a satisfactory frequency range for wind turbine noise estimation given the wind turbine spectrum. So here I present the result at 500 meters. We first can see that the sound pressure level increase with the wind speed class, which is due to sound emission that increase with the wind speed. We see that the sound pressure level dispersion is slightly lower for the 11 meters per second speed class. This is because the wind turbine operates at its rated power in this wind speed class, and so the sound emission is relatively constant. Then we can look at other wind sector. We see that the sound pressure level dispersion increased significantly for the last wind sector. This is explained by the directivity of the wind turbine, where there is a higher sound emission variability in this wind sector. If we look at the other receivers, we see the same behavior. And with no surprise, the sound pressure level decreased with distance to the source due to geometrical spreading. So this result provides useful information for the environmental acoustician because this research allows one to quantify the order of magnitude of sound pressure level uncertainty associated with different wind conditions. And thus, this will help to a better control of the quality of wind turbine noise assessment. That's it for my presentation. Thank you for your attention, and I'm glad to answer to your question.